Hey, how you doing? My name is Dallin Washington, and I'm here for another reaction. So I'm going to do this reaction on Nancy Sue Wilson. I love Nancy Wilson. I love her voice. And she's, to be honest with you, she is one of those jazz singers or singers that you don't hear too much about, but she is one of those singers that in passing you might have heard her voice. But I love her songs. I love her emotive interpretations of jazz music. I think I put her as one of the greats of the genre of jazz, and one of those late breeders that came almost around in the 60s, somewhere around during the Beatles and Motown sound and the Scepter sound. All these sounds started coming out, but jazz was still there as the foundation of American music. But she was one of those singers, I think, came around with Tony Bennett, Jack Jones, all of those, Diane Carroll. If you want to put her in that genre, I don't think Diane Carroll is a jazz singer. I don't think of her as a jazz singer. She's more of a pop singer. But she came around in the 60s and she had great success with certain songs, as I Saw Him Today, or just a lot of great hits of that time. And she was considered one of the premier vocalists of the 60s. But I want to do this song from the Hollywood Palace. I love this interpretation of The Very Thought of You. I've heard so many interpretations. I've heard Nat King Cole's, Natalie Cole's. I believe I heard Tony Bennett's. But something about Nancy Wilson, she just brings it home. And I just want to do this reaction to this performance. And I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. Nancy Wilson's version or interpretation of The Very Thought of You.
I don't need your photograph to keep by my bed. Your picture is always in my head. I don't need your portrait, dear, to call you to mind for sleeping or waking, dear. I find the very thought of you and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a queen. Though it may seem to me, that's everything. The mere idea of you, the longing here for you. You'll never know how slow the moments flow till I'm near to you. I see your face in every flower, your eyes in stars above. It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you, my love.
that almost took the breath out of me. I'm just like, wow, just moments in music like that is just breathtaking. She had so much elegance in her presentation, interpretation, the control, the voice control, and she was so emotive throughout the performance. She was so emotive with her interpretation of this song, because I've heard many interpretations of this song. And I want to say Natalie Cole might have took on this interpretation, because I've heard her version of it, and it almost sounds the same as Nancy Wilson's interpretation, and of the music of the song itself, the music itself. The orchestration is almost similar to the Natalie Cole version from the Unforgettable album, which is a great album. I love the Unforgettable album, which was a Natalie Cole's tribute to her father. But going back to Sarah, I don't want to say Sarah Vaughan, but going back to Nancy Wilson, Nancy is just wow. Even in her youth, even at that time, especially in the peak of her prowess, she still kept that austere, dignified presentation, stage aura. It's giving me Lena Horne in so many ways. I see Lena Horne, but I hear Donna Washington in her voice too. And I keep bringing up Donna Washington because it's just something about, I think a lot of singers, and I noticed a lot of soul singers took on the Donna Washington interpretation of music after she had passed. And not to say that everybody else, looked up. I think Nancy sounds to me almost like Donna Washington in ways. And this song is the pure example of her taking on that interpretation and bringing almost that Donna Washington feel to it. But Nancy Wilson, God bless her. I'm hoping that she is resting in all forms of heavenly peace, because she was one of those dignified legends who just seemed to always bring class, elegance, beauty. And she was also resilient in so many ways in her career, and opened so many doors for singers like Whitney Houston, so many singers like Mariah, and those singers who brought that same elegance and stage presence. I love singers like that, crooners like that. It's just something about them that art of singing needs to come back, and it will come back. It will come back in ways that that might be different from this, but God, that type of art would never go out of style. It would never go out of style. But if you enjoyed this reaction, if you enjoyed the whole entire presentation, please join, share, and subscribe. Look out for me on Saturdays from the actual show that I do besides these reactions, and the show is called Truth Behind the Truth. If you're trying to look for that on YouTube, it's put in TTBTT, and you'll find that show. But we air via YouTube, via Facebook, via Twitter. 6 o'clock West Coast time, 8 o'clock Central time, East Coast time, 9 o'clock. So catch us on that, and I hope you enjoy that conversation as well as this conversation. But as always, be blessed and be safe. Bye.